before he was born. Now, some of you skeptics would say, well, it's just accidental that Jesus happened to fulfill those prophecies. It was coincidence. Peter Stoner is a mathematician. He wrote a book entitled Science Speaks, and he decided to calculate the odds, the probability that one person like Jesus could have accidentally fulfilled just 8 of those 200 prophecies. What is the mathematical probability of one man in history by chance fulfilling 8, not 200, but 8 of those prophecies? He came up with the number 1 in 10 to the 17th power. Do you know how big of a number 10 to the 17th power is? That's a 1 with 17 zeros behind it. One chance in that big of a number that Jesus could have fulfilled 8 prophecies. Now, it's hard for us to get our heads around a number that big. So here's an illustration that will help you of what 1 in 10 to the 17th power is. Let's just imagine we would take the state of Texas and fill it up with silver dollars 2 feet deep. The state of Texas, 2 feet deep in silver dollars. And suppose I were to take one of those coins and put a black X on it, throw it in the pile, mix up the whole state filled with silver dollars, and then I were to say to President Trump today, Mr. President, we're so glad to have you in Texas. Texas loves you, and I want to take you on a walking tour of the state of Texas. So we slug through those silver dollars. We start here in Dallas, and we walk east to Tyler. Then we go west to El Paso. And then we walk up to Amarillo, and we walk down to Brownsville. We're walking all over Texas in these silver dollars. And at a random point, I say, no, Mr. President, please stop and reach down and pick up a silver dollar. The odds that President Trump would pick up the silver dollar with an X on it would be 1 in 10 to the 17th power. That is the same probability that Jesus accidentally fulfilled 8 of these prophecies. But it wasn't 8, it was 200. Peter Stoner goes on to say the odds of one man fulfilling 48 of those prophecies is 1 in 10 to the 157th power. What do you think the odds are of 200 of those prophecies being accidentally fulfilled? There's a Greek word for it, zilch. Nothing. No probability whatsoever. This wasn't an accident. This was God's plan by which Jesus came into the world. And if there were no Jesus, there would have been all of these prophecies left unfulfilled. You say, well, that's interesting, Robert, but what does that mean to me? What does it mean to me that Jesus fulfilled all of these prophecies? Well, if there were no Christmas, if there were no Jesus who was born in Bethlehem, there would be no payment for our sins today. You know, people get all emotional about Christmas for the wrong reason. They hear about a baby being born and they start thinking about all the babies in the world. Aren't they sweet and cuddly? Then they start thinking about their own baby being born and they get misty-eyed and so forth, and they fall into the syrupy sentimentality of Christmas, and they miss the real point. Ladies and gentlemen, the magic of Christmas is not that a baby was born. Lots of babies are born. Lots of babies were born that night in Israel. What the magic of Christmas is this baby was different. He was the Son of God who could do for us only what he could do, and that is to take away our sins, to be the payment for our sins. You know, it was Job the